So, you want to be a top-tier data analyst. Well, today we're building out your ultimate toolkit. And I'm not just talking about learning Python or SQL. Nope, we are going way deeper, mastering the whole ecosystem. We're talking from the hardware that actually fuels your insights all the way to the entrepreneurial mindset that turns all that data into dollars. Let's get into it. First, we're going to unpack the two hats every great analyst has to wear. Then we'll look under the hood at the tech that powers your work. After that, we'll talk about your own well-being, but frame it as a performance metric. We'll cover how to guard a company's most precious digital assets. And finally, we'll put it all together so you can get out there and build some real-world value. You know, to really crush it in data analytics, you've got to wear two different hats. You have to be a technician who can speak the language of the machine, but you also have to be a strategist who speaks the language of business. And well, that's exactly where we come in. I'm your tech support lead. My job is to make sure you get the how, the hardware, the systems, the security protocols that keep your analysis running like a dream.
And I'm your business startup coach. I'm all about the why. How do we turn all that technical power into actual profit and growth for a business? The truth is, you absolutely need both to win.
All right, let's kick things off with the engine itself. As your tech lead, I've got to tell you, an analyst who doesn't understand their computer, that's kind of like a race car driver who doesn't get how their engine works. Every single script, every query you run, it all comes down to your hardware. So first up is the CPU, the central processing unit. Honestly, just think of it as the brain of your entire operation. Every single line of code in that data cleaning script, every complex SQL query you're trying to run, that's the CPU doing all the heavy lifting, especially when the tasks get really intense with calculations. And then there's RAM, or random access memory. Picture it like your temporary digital workbench. When you load a massive CSV file into a pandas data frame, that whole thing has to live somewhere, right? It lives in RAM. And if you don't have enough of it, your analysis just grinds to a halt. It's simple. More RAM means you can handle bigger data, and that means faster insights. And this right here, this is where the tech meets the strategy. That's not just some cool quote. That's a business reality. You see, investing in the right hardware isn't a cost. It's a direct investment in your ability to deliver insights quickly and reliably. In business, time is money, and a crashed analysis is time you are never getting back. Okay, so the machine is all tuned up. Awesome. But now we have to talk about the most important part, the driver. That's you. As a startup coach, I have seen so many brilliant people just burn out. Your physical well-being isn't just a nice health tip. It is a key performance indicator. A healthy analyst is a productive analyst, period. Exactly right. And the rules for this are actually pretty simple, but they are non-negotiable. For your seating, make sure your feet are flat on the floor, your back is supported, and your thighs are parallel to the floor. Easy enough. For your monitor, the top of the screen should be right at or just a little below your eye level. And finally, try to match your screen's brightness to the ambient light in the room. This will save you a ton of eye strain. And speaking of eye strain, here's a fantastic pro tip. It's called the 20-20-20 rule, and it starts with this number. For every 20 minutes you spend staring at your screen, you need to look at something that's about 20 feet away. It could be anything, something out the window, a picture on the far wall, whatever. Just shift your focus. And you're going to stare at that object for a full 20 seconds. I know, it sounds almost too simple, right? But this tiny little break gives your eye muscles a chance to relax. Think of it like a system reboot for your vision. It prevents headaches, and it keeps you sharp enough to find that needle in the data haystack. So the main takeaway here is really simple. Your health is your throughput. If you ignore ergonomics, you're heading for pain and burnout, which just kills your ability to think critically and spot those important patterns. Taking care of yourself isn't a break from your work. It's the very thing that makes the real work possible. Okay, we've got the machine covered and we've got the person running it covered. Now let's talk about what you're actually protecting. Because in today's economy, data is basically digital gold, and you are the ones standing guard at the vaults. And from a technical point of view, guarding that vault means putting 3 pillars of security in place. First, you've got access control. That means strong passwords and multi-factor authentication to make sure only the right people get in. Second, encryption, basically scrambling the data so it's useless if it gets stolen, both when it's just sitting at rest on a drive and when it's in transit across a network. And third, backups, regular automated copies to prevent a total disaster. So our tech lead just gave you the what and the how of security. As your coach, I really need you to get the why.
Let me ask you this. What is a company's single most valuable asset today? It's not the office building. It's not the inventory in the warehouse.
It's the data. Protecting data isn't just some IT task to check off a list. It is the fundamental act of protecting the business itself. Every customer record, every single transaction, every piece of market insight, that is the core value of the company, and you are responsible for it. So, look at that. You've got a powerful machine, a healthy and focused operator, and a secure vault for your digital gold. Now it's time to actually build something with all of it. This is the moment you go from analyst to entrepreneur, using these skills to create real, tangible value, especially for small businesses. I want you to start thinking of yourself as a consultant. For all the micro, small, and medium-sized businesses out there, MSMEs, you are a lifeline. Seriously, you're the one who can analyze their cash flow to keep them from going under, or dive deep into their customer data to find a profitable little niche market that can help them grow. You provide the clarity they desperately need to survive and then to thrive. Okay, so here's your mission, your next steps. First, solidify your own foundation. Go complete the occupational safety and health self-check. Get that done. Second, I want you to start thinking like a founder. Grab your task sheet and begin drafting a business plan for a small business. Apply that analytical mind of yours to the challenge of building something new from the ground up. So now you have the toolkit. You've got the machine, you've got the mindset, and you've got the mission. You get the tech, and you get the strategy. So really, there's only one question left to ask. How are you going to use it to build the future?